We might have to pull them out. Just kidding.
It's weird mode.
So yeah, overall thoughts. It's crazy. I wouldn't say it's quite as big a step from an ATV to the regular Sherp, going from this Sherp to Sherp N, but there is quite a step up. It seems. I don't know if it's just the larger tires. You got more clearance, maybe the more power of the motor, but everything about it is awesome. The controls, the transmission is really nice. It's got a throttle by wire accelerator. It's got a hydraulic clutch instead of cable clutch, so everything's really smooth on the trail. In the front seats anyways, it's like butter smooth. It's like riding in an off-road limousine. The seats in the back are great. I sat in those when we were cruising around. It's a little bit herky-jerky back there, but you're in an actual seat, so it was great too. And then just like all the extra, how do you say, accoutrements? It's like all the extra little features. Like you can get air conditioning, you can get a 360-degree camera, so you can see on the sides the gauges, the switches.
Heated seats.
Oh yeah, heated seats, plus 2 heaters. Plus it has defrost now, so you should have no problems with the windshield.
And you can get a heated windshield.
Hey?
You can get a heated windshield.
Oh yeah, nice heated windshield. So like elements built in right into the windshield. So it is going to be a freaking gorgeous unit. The interior room in the back is like, it's gigantic. Like you'd be able to set that up with a, I bet you could almost fit a king size mattress in there. It's huge. So talk about back road living, or off grid camping and living. Like you could go for 2 weeks in this thing, pack it up, your bed, all your stuff, fuel in the tires. Like literally you could leave home and 2 weeks later you could come back.
One big thing I really enjoy is the fact that it's not so hot, even with the back window closed.
It's gorgeous.
So that's
inside.
a huge
So
thing.
I don't know if they accomplished that with insulation for the motor compartment or better fans to suck the heat out, but it is so much, very comfortable inside. And it's like 28 or 30 above today. It's a very warm day. So yeah, everything on it is just a step up, the next evolution in Sherp. So super excited, man. The bumpers, it's got receivers front and rear now, just built in, so those are going to be super useful. It's got grab handles, ladders, everything's easier to get in and out. All in all, awesome work. So just overall how things are a little beefier, a little nicer. The rear latch system is like a really positive, strong latch system. And then you got a really nice fold down little ladder for the side. Like getting in and out is really nice. Nice grab handles. And then here's kind of a shot of the seats, how they got. It's a little tight down the middle, but when you're sitting in the seat, it's perfect. And then we'll get in here, and there is just a ton of room on the side still. So like you don't feel cramped at all. You got some old crap handles up on the roll bar. It's an interior roll bar. You got tons of leg room. Frick, you can stretch right out. like how Devin was riding back here, and it is a really nice ride. Like, oh, and charge ports, like they got USB charge ports, like several of them. And like, look at the switches. There's no longer like a manual valve for the tire inflation and deflation. It's on that switch at the end there, so it's a solenoid now. So that's pretty trick. Signal lights. The multifunction gauge is really nice. E-brake is really nice. Holds really well. Cubby holes, more charge ports. Cup holders, something we were really missing. There's one up there with a walkie-talkie on her. But yeah, really nice beefy roll cage system. And just like a guy could literally just sleep up on these kind of fenders. They're that big. Oh, the seat belts are like a 4-point harness. So when you're strapped in, you're strapped in. And it still has the Webasto heater. So one way heats the engine compartment, and then this way heats the cabin. So that's super useful in the winter. You run that for half hour and it starts like it's a spring day. So overall impressions are pretty freaking dang positive, that's for sure. We cannot wait to get ours basically outfitted up and put it through its paces. And there's some defrost vents for the side windows. You got it really good viewing through all the windows, so that's really nice. All in all, I really like it. All right, so we just pulled a new Sherp in Devin's shop here. Lighting's pretty good, and it is not plus 1000, so we're just going to get a little bit of video of the storage compartments, a little bit more video of the interior. So we took out the center tube panels. So the rear there, that's where the fuel tank is, and it's kind of cool. They mounted a sump pump in case you ever get water in, and it is through to a fitting on the rear wall there, so it just pumps it out. But there are a couple tool bags, a 3-gallon bucket, and there's still tons of room. So there is really a ton of storage room in here. All really accessible. And these seats are only one option. You can get a bench option that basically goes from here all the way back. So you could fit, I don't know, probably three guys on each side, maybe one guy in the middle, so 7 plus the 2 people there. You could carry 9 people really comfortably with the bench option. With this option here, you got 6, and very comfortable, like I said, with the grab handles and stuff, seat belts.
Even just sitting up on the ledge is more comfortable.
Yeah, there is a lot more room just sitting up like this. Like, there's just more headroom in this model, so really cool. And of course, really nice kind of padding and stuff, similar to the other model of Sherp. So yeah, just a little bit more video of some of the interior. I think I went over the front really good with the cubby holes and all the switches, and I think I know what every switch does for the most part, but there's a lot of switches, other light switches up there. And then through the gauges, you can bring up, like, you know, hours on the motor, you can bring up service intervals, you can bring up a lot of stuff on the gauges. We'll try to turn that on. So you can toggle between day and night modes. Here's the service view I was talking about. So all the stuff you can monitor: air intake temp, hydraulic temperature. I'm not sure if that's for the clutch, engine oil temp, fuel temperature, engine load, like all sorts of stuff you can monitor through there. Where was I looking where it kind of showed utilities? Service reminders, just like there's all sorts of stuff on this new display. Engine diagnostics. So yeah, if you threw an engine code, you could probably go in through here and see what the problem is and reset it if it's just something small. So that's very cool. Get engine faults, get faults. So kind of like a programmer on your diesel truck, you can do a lot of stuff exactly the same on a diesel truck. And then you got up here, you have your tire pressure and then it kind of gives you a bit of a visual gauge of, depending on how much pressure you got, what it's good for, right? The very lowest pressure is for, you can't see that very good, swamp and snow, then sand, dirt, road, and water, and then asphalt. You got them pumped right up 150, and then usually at about 150 when you have it on the trailer tied down. So 150 millimeters of mercury, I think it's measured, is like 3 psi, 3 or 4 psi, and then all that pressure is controlled with these two switches here. So that's letting the air out, and then when the motor's running, that's for the solenoid to fill them back up. Really cool. And there's another gauge for your tire pressure there. Really neato. Neato, that's a new word I just invented. Neato. Oh, blurry. There we go. Neato mosquito? Yeah. That is a funny horn.
There's a song called Neato.
I don't want to go home. I just want to stay here another couple days. Just go Sherping.
I dare you to.
The truck parts is the most.
Truck parts. Carrie's like, what does that say truck farts for? He's like, it's truck parts. Really cool, man. Super glad we got to come up and check out this new baby. It is really, really cool. All right. Now what? Let's go soak in some sun. You can get a sunburn. No. You got really nice quality brake lights, signal lights, kind of backup lights. And then going around the side here, kind of service compartment. That's a backup alarm. Here's the Webasto heater, and it's got its own separate little exhaust. And then here's the little solenoid. This right here is the little solenoid to dump pressure out of your tires and to allow pressure into your tires from the engine exhaust. So it looks like air operated, hey? Very cool. So, and maybe your brake fluid for your brakes, for your steering. I'm just guessing. Diesel fuel filter with a water separator. Really nice, easy to get at. You don't gotta lift apart. On the old Sherp, you kind of had to take the seats out, take the covering off, take the panels off to kind of get at anything. So they move some stuff into the fender well, which is really, really easy to get at. And you can't really see. What does the motor make again? Dutes? I think it's a Dutes 4-cylinder. And I'd have to get the stats, but it's more horsepower. And I think it's like tier 4 or tier 5 emissions legal. So I'm not sure if you have a particulate DPF. I don't think you have to add DEF fluid in this, but it probably has a particulate filter. So the new tires are 1 foot taller. These ones are a little bit of air out of them, but these are 60 inch and the new ones are 72. So they're really tall. And so with that, you get quite a bit more ground clearance. It's really, really nice ground clearance. And there's a good shot of that rear bumper, built-in rear 2-inch receiver. Oh, we'll just show the lights up front too. We never looked in this side. Oh yeah, so look at that. It's like a hydraulic motor for the fan. So that baby is what sucks all the heat out of the cab. So it works really, really good. Oh, a Doosan, that's the motor it is. A Doosan. So here would be your air filter, really easy to get at. Here's your little horn. Really cool. Oh, that's awesome. That's crazy that that's hydraulic, eh? That is cool. Okay, coming around front. So just like the other Sherp, you have I think that would be flood, or maybe that's spot and that's flood. And then really nice signal lights. Lockable now, so you can close everything, lock it. If you don't want anyone scramming around inside your Sherp. So he said there's a separate heater core under here just for the window defrost. So there's actually 3 heaters now. So you got this one here, there's one under there, and then there's that Webasto in the back. So you'll have no problem staying warm in the winter. I stepped on that seat, sorry, it's all dirty. But there's an overall of the new Sherp Model N. You think they call it N because it's just the new Sherp? I'm not sure. Maybe it means something different in Russian or Ukrainian. Here's a really good shot of the size comparison. So they're very similar width. The new Sherp is a little longer and quite a bit taller. And then the bodywork comes out a lot wider. That's where you get all that extra interior room. allows for a lot more kind of stuff on the inside.
They said, don't fall, don't forget all the things you've been taught, you've been told. Don't blink, don't run, don't turn left or turn right or look straight at the sun. My mind's going in circles, I'm trying to fight it, getting these voices inside to stay quiet. Gone to the place where